Okay, we are going rant mode. Okay, Mr. Z, you gonna be ranting? Yes, but believe it or not, it's not really gonna be about Ebony as much. Obviously, the title is called Simp Steps, right? Um, you know, and just think of just the tap dancing, Daffy Duck, type of thing that Torre was doing here. We all know Torre. He's been a hip hop journalist for forever, since the '90s. And yeah, so for those of you that don't know, or well, I put the link in the description, but I did it a little late, so my apologies. But check it out after if you haven't watched it already. I know Anton covered this. I did watch his coverage. I'm going to try to not overly repeat what he said. He did make some really good points. I disagree with him on certain things, but let's first call a thing a thing. I saw from the jump, because I've been actually watching these type of interviews that Ebony has been doing and what she's been saying on the Griot about this type of stuff. I saw from the beginning what Ebony was saying, and I watched as Torre tried to tie himself into a pretzel to reframe what Ebony was saying in a way that is not only sympathetic towards Ebony herself and black women by extension, but in a way that paints men, black men, as some type of underachieving, jealous, um, kind of Neanderthals who don't fully appreciate this multi half what do you call it, multi hyphenated woman who is juggling 3 and 4 and 5 things at a time. That's not Ebony's problem, man. Ebony wants a shark. Ebony's a shark. She wants an even bigger shark. Ebony excuse me. Ebony has stated very clearly what she is looking for. You, sir, are attempting to paint a neoliberal, capitalist ass woman, a materialistic ass woman, a woman who sees relationship through a conspicuous consumption lens. You are trying to sympathize with her. Understandable. That is fine. That is not up for the rest of us, particularly as black men, to do. Shout out to all of you brothers, especially the Torres, who are doing okay in life, if not well in life, who hear Ebony speaking and then pretend, or even more frighteningly, don't understand what she's actually saying. She's looking for a shark. She's looking for the man that when he's in the room, everybody knows better than to talk to her any type of weird or talk to him any type of weird. As a matter of fact, she did say it further off in the interview, but I didn't have to wait for her to say it because I already knew that's what Ebony was looking for. And so did you, Torre, or didn't you? Which I don't know which one, once again, is more frightening. Ebony is your standard high achieving black woman. I want to argue that this is your standard quote unquote high achieving Western woman, period, but particularly black woman. By the way, this is why she was dating the white man that she was barely attracted to. If you think she was attracted to him, you got another thing coming. This is why she was in a relationship with him, hoping to marry him, because she was looking for a lifestyle, for the love of God. It's interesting watching Torre describe hypergamy without ever saying the word. It's interesting watching Ebony K. Williams describe hypergamy once again, and I don't recall, but I don't recall her ever saying the word. So we'll say she never said the word. It's not about being a multi-hyphenated person who's juggling all these things and you have all these different interests. No, Torre, she cares that you have one interest, maybe two, the money and the power part, the sitting other people down part, the part that when you walk in the room, other people get intimidated. Ooh, that's such and such. Ooh. Right? And Ebony made it very clear, and I watched as Torre tried to duck and dodge and matrix, right? Just so that he wouldn't have to address that Ebony is single, because Ebony is looking for the impossible. And Ebony thinks that that guy is not going to dictate to her. You gotta love it. Oh, you gotta love it. Now, Z, why does this matter? because the Torres of the world have been the men that have spoken to young black men for the longest. FD, there's nothing. FD is another brother like that. Torre is another one like that. If you notice, they continue to try to reframe it in a way that's more sympathetic. A black woman could come up and say, "Listen, I am a man eater. I like to step on men. If I think you're weak, I will crush you. If I think you're strong, I will still try to crush you." They will say that to Torre. They will say that to FD, and they'd be like, "Okay, wait a minute. How can I reframe this in a way?" And I am not about demonizing black people in general, including black women, as evidenced by my channel, right? I am not about overly demonizing black people or even demonizing black people. That includes black women. But when a black woman tell you who the hell she is, and Ebony told Torre, and he knows her somewhat, I guess they have somewhat of a working relationship, and you watch Torre try his hardest to ignore Ebony being very clear about who the hell she is and what she's looking for in a relationship or in a man, and you watch Torre say, "Yeah, we're gonna pretend like you didn't say that part, or we're gonna try to, how can we soften what you're saying?" You know? And they do bring up the class element, and they do, that's not the issue, man. She's looking for the baller. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. She is looking for the baller. Nothing wrong with that. But could y'all own that Ebony's gonna have to eat crow, and she's maybe, most likely, not gonna end up with that dude because she's too old now? And every time she opens her mouth, she just discussed people, and I'm almost certain, even for the baller dudes, it's like, ugh, nah, can't do it. She made it very clear. Hey, if you're comfortable, if you want someone who's not gonna really rock the boat, and I'm saying it in a different way, I'm paraphrasing it, but she made it very clear. If you don't want somebody that's gonna annoy you or nag you or be like, "Hey, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What can we do?" Because she wants the power couple thing. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not what men are looking for when they come home. And Ebony realizes that. Torre, on the other hand, once again is playing patty cake with Ebony. This was my issue with FD Signifier. If y'all want to know why FD, if you're listening, if you want to know why Mr. Z is be like, "Yeah, but what about the ladies?" Ebony just showed you. Because what y'all do is y'all come over here, verbally beat us up, or try to, and then when the Ebonies speak the way they do, you're like, okay, how can I reframe this in a way that's more sympathetic? Right? You know how many, shout out to the Black Manosphere. You know how much art we have archived of women straight up saying, "Yeah, if I earn more than you, I'm going to mistreat you." Straight up, in those words. In those literal words. What happened to the days when men just need to provide, protect, and shut up? Yes, black women, once again, in those literal words. Ebony K. Williams telling you she wants a man that when he walks in the room, he's the man in that room. By the way, nothing wrong with that, and I'm almost certain most women want that. I don't even have a problem with Ebony saying that. Fine. Right? If you're a woman and you want, excuse my language, you want that nigga, fine. I understand. I grew up in the hood. I know what that is. But Ebony said that. And then y'all were still gonna find a way to say, okay, but the real issue is, and you saw it in the beginning when they got to this part of the conversation, you watch as Torre kept on trying to reframe it. It was like, essentially what Torre was trying to do is say, "Oh, well, these men are insecure." And no, and Ebony made it very clear, shout out to her for this, "No, I'm the one that's insecure." Huh? You watched as Torre tried to frame this in a way where, or you're saying the men are intimidated by your success and by you. No. The issue is me. Huh? And she actually kept on blocking him for a little while, and then finally he was able to get in there like, "Oh, but yeah, you're a multi-hyphenated person, and and you want to, you might want to go to a Jay-Z concert and then go to the ballet afterward." Oh God. Yawn. These are the people, y'all. The perfect example of our uncles and some of our fathers and some of our grandfathers, Tory. When you talk to them about the current environment in relationships and why the birth rate is going to the crapper and why the marriage rate has gone to the crapper and why dating has gone to the crapper and why so many single men in general, black men in particular, young men, aren't looking to date, aren't looking to have children, aren't looking to be in relationships, would much rather be on the hub, and they give you some simp ass answer, Tory. Huh? Tory is your uncle. All right. Ebony lets you know who she is. Ebony is that if somebody can find it, for the love of God, please send it to me. It's a clip or a video, or it might even be a poem, and the woman is low-key kind of bragging about being difficult. Like, right? She's like, I am not a pushover, and I'm not this, and I'm not that, and a lot of experiences have taught me to keep my guard up and whatever, and I'm not easy, and I'm not, and she's kind of bragging about it while also trying to get you to be sympathetic about why she is the way she is. If anybody knows what I'm referring to, right? Indigo said, "Who's worse, Toure or Mark Lamont Hill?" Mark Lamont Hill is another one. There's a lot, and that is why. Oh, by the way, before Mr. Z forgets, by the way, if you listen far enough in the interview, Ebony explains she knows exactly, she understands exactly why black men at 20% might vote for Trump. And once again, Toure does the whole simp thing. So when she sit on the griot, she know better, but we already knew she knew better. One thing you cannot call Ebony is dumb. One thing you can't call her is dumb. Maniacal, calculated, hell yeah. Cold and calculated and shrewd, absolutely. Dumb, not a chance. Not a chance. So she lets you know. She knows exactly why about 20% of black men are going to vote for Trump if he does run. And once again, like I said, Toure act like he don't get it. While, excuse me, while he exhibits the behavior of why that 20% of black men might. And by the way, Ebony did not say anything about black men's jealousy of black women, or that black men feel like the Democratic Party is doing for black women and not for black men. No, she did not. Right? So between Mark, and this is why there's a black manosphere. This is exactly why there is a black manosphere. There is a black manosphere because of FD signifier. There's a black manosphere because of Themis and Thaw. By the way, I see his part one for the review of Swirlnomics. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. That is why there is a black manosphere, because of Themis and Thaw, and because of FD signifier, and because of Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, and because of Conscious Lee, and because of Mark Lamont Hill, and because of Toure. Brothers like that have been the ones with the microphone. If white society and black women allowed for black men to speak, it was brothers like that. That's why there's a black manosphere. Because the brothers like y'all do the same thing, excuse me, do the same thing the women do. The best we get is maybe, possibly, a FD signifier that says, okay, I kind of, sort of understand what you're saying, but could you tone it down some? Could we reframe this in a way that's sympathetic to the women? And yes, I'm here to tone police you. Oh, I understand that the black women got to say whatever they wanted to say. However, once again, however they wanted to say it. They got to say whatever they wanted to say, however they wanted to say it. I get it, right? Don't tone police me. I understand that that's their rhetoric, but for us, we can't move the same. So how can we move? Well, we can't move. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank you for being honest. Right? Thank you for your honesty. Right? So there y'all go. Simp steps. Toure. And I don't even use, have y'all noticed Mr. Z don't really say simp? I don't really use simp. I actually think it's kind of overused. I don't really use the words the term simp, but guess what? Torre was definitely simping. Absolutely. And of course he was, right? And I want y'all to understand, Ebony K. Williams is it's probably, let's not, we don't know. I don't know how many of us make Ebony K. Williams type of money, but she is so that's like, yeah, right. They say nothing to her and nothing to women like her. Or they're surrounded by Torres, Mark Lamont Hills, and FD signifiers. Then you wonder why, and Ebony's better than most. She's not absolutely delusional. She understands, she's just willing to go through it. She would rather be single than with a dude that she deems as beneath her, which is perfectly understandable. But she's not as delusional as y'all think. She's throwing a temper tantrum, but she's not as delusional as some of you think. Oh, yeah, she's still throwing it. Mr. Z is not going to say she's not throwing a 7-year-old temper tantrum. You better believe it. But she's not as delusional as many of y'all think. The other women that have the ear towards the Mark Lamont Hills and Torre, oh, they are. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. Right? Huh. And black men are supposed to do what? When we already told you she's going to be insufferable if you marry her. To y'all of that she's often told to put the game down. She said that. Her words. And she wasn't coaxed into saying that either. She told you she's a shark. She told you she's looking for a boss hog man that when he walk in the room, he's that dude. Perfectly okay. And how many men are that? How many people are that? How many men are that? Ebony K. Williams is the face of that boss girl feminism. For black women, Ebony K. Williams is the face of boss girl feminism. Ebony K. Williams is what's her name? Compromise for who? For what? Eartha Kitt, right? Ebony K. Williams is Eartha Kitt, 30 years removed. 20 and 30 years removed. Compromise with who? For what? Yep. Not even Diane Carroll. No, that's definitely Eartha Kitt. Vivica A. Fox too, by the way. You wait long enough, Yanni also. Chrissy too. Give it some time. Huh? So if you want to know why there's a black manosphere, why black men sound the way they do, it's because of the Tiffany Cross and the Ebony K. Williams and the Oprahs and the Torres and the Mark Lamont Hills, right? And the Barack Obamas and the Michelle Obamas. If you want to know why there's a black manosphere, that's why. Because Ebony was so clear of who she was, who she is, what she's looking for. She pretty much from the beginning of that part of the conversation, she was saying from the outset what she is, and you watch Torre just continue to try to reframe it. Torre, would you have tried to reframe that for a hip hop artist? Possibly. Huh? Ebony told you she is a shark looking for a particular lifestyle provided by a man. That she essentially, Yanni all over again. I want to be a kept woman of leisure. And you watched As Torre was like, okay, how are we gonna reframe this? So are you saying that you're seeing the men? They're the one with the they're little insecure. She's like, no, 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 me. Why did she have to say it? And then he came back again trying to reframe it for her. Why did she have to say it? Mr. Z understood what she was saying from the beginning. I knew who Ebony was from the beginning. And yet we watch as Torre tries to reframe this. Look, man, y'all gotta be honest. Y'all don't know what the hell y'all doing. Whoever you tastemakers are when it comes to women right now, unless there this is some tinfoil hat conspiracy theory about lowering the population, y'all don't know what the hell y'all doing. Or y'all just wrote off um millennials and Gen Z and said, yeah, that's gonna be the two lost generations, and I guess we'll work on young Z and alphas. And if that's the case, then own it and say it. Because we have a whole lot of Ebonies and Yannies and Chrissies, not just running around, mainly running around the black community, obviously, but running around this society, namely the black community, right? Wow. So, we see what Ebony, we know who Ebony is. Torre, right? Torre, on the other hand, woo, boy, that's some A1 simping right there, right? That's some A1 simping right there. And, you know, as I said, these are our uncles, these are our grandfathers. For some of us, our fathers, and they speak like Torre, and they purposely, oftentimes, try not to understand what you're saying about the dating scene and the marriage scene, and women on your same level still thinking they're above you, or women maybe half a step above you, thinking they're a million steps above you financially, or they may earn the money, but their attitude and their weight and their whatever you know, are some marks against them, but they refuse to own that because they think they got a couple of dollars to make up for it, and obviously they don't. Meanwhile, these are the same women that tell you that you think you can make up for your horrible whatever the hell with some money and accolades, right? As they do the same thing. Funny enough, right? My bad, y'all. Give me 1 second. This car decided to just put the emergency lights on in the middle of the road and kind of threw everybody in traffic off a little bit. Okay, here we go. We're back. And yeah, right. Wow. And then FD comes into this space and then mocks us and makes fun of us. Brother, the reason there's a black manosphere is because of brothers like you and brothers like Torre, right? Brothers like you, brothers like Torre, brothers like Mark Lamont Hill, brothers like Steve Harvey. That's why there's a black manosphere. All we ever got from y'all is how Torre speaks. Women telling you straight up, I'm a man eater, and y'all be like, okay, what you really mean to say is that men have treated you so horribly in the past that the way that you feel that you can defend yourself is by trying to get them for everything they have, right? Which is understandable because I've been around these men and I've been around them and I've heard them speak, and I definitely understand. I can sympathize with you and why you call yourself that. I'll just give you a little word of advice. Maybe not say that, but I definitely understand. Oh, Wow. Y'all keep on talking like y'all don't understand why there's a black manosphere while you sound the way Torre does, while you sound the way FD Signifier does, while you sound the way Mark Lamont Hill does and Barack Obama does. And some of these people are not nearly as blue pill as they pretend to be, right? They're not nearly as blue pill as they pretend to be. And some of them are. For them, we're somewhere, and even this narrative is okay. We're somewhere in like the 1950s, and like black men like use that like lion voice and roar, and then get black women and black LGBTQ and black children to sit down, and like, you know, black men walk into the, I've said this before, right? Black men walk into the black neighborhood after a hard day of work. We weren't working really, right? And we take off all of our anger and our rage and our resentment about the white man, the white boss that we have, that secretly, you know, piping Keisha. We take that off on the first other black person we see, which is usually an LGBTQ black person or a black children or a black woman, right? And we just start backhanding everybody. Everybody gets a backhand. Black LGBTQ people get a backhand, black women get a backhand, black children get a backhand, everybody gets a backhand because black men aren't happy with their lot in life, right? And Torre continues to frame the conversation like that. And that's how a lot of people frame it, actually. Everything that black women have said negatively or done negatively towards black men, anything that an individual black woman has done negatively towards black men, what are you talking about, Z? I've mentioned this story multiple times. The older black woman who deleted her husband, hit him upside the head with a hammer in his sleep, and tried to claim DV, and the adult daughter who actually experienced DV said, no, my mom was the abusive one. My mom was the drunk. My mom was the one always picking arguments and fights with my father. If it wasn't for that, huh? The Torres and the Themis are the ones, the black men, when they are giving the microphone, it is Torre, it is Themis, it is Steve Harvey. Those are the ones that are given the microphone to speak about black men, and you better believe it that when they start speaking about black men, ain't nothing positive, especially the relationship between black men and black women, ain't nothing positive. It's and Dr. Umar Johnson, of course. But it's always, well, if you would alpha your way, she wouldn't speak and act the way she does if you would just be a super ultra mega alpha, right? Super Tyrone, if you were Super Tyrone, forget 6'2". If you were 6'5", wait a minute, I can't control my height. It doesn't matter. If you were 6'5", with the Mandingo 12-inch member, with the 8-pack, forget a 6-pack, with an 8-pack, right? And like 6 PhDs, and you were funny, and you were a porn star, then yeah, maybe you would qualify, maybe, right? Oh, don't forget, you're wealthy like Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne. Or you got to be industrious like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk too. Don't forget. And then maybe you could get you a woman with her attitude and her looks and everything combined is like, you know, a 4, right? But you got to be Super Tyrone first. If you're not Super Tyrone first, you deserve what you get, which is probably single and sexless. It was fascinating watching Touré try to reframe that and reframe that and reframe that. And the best part is that towards the end, when Ebony just straight up said it, like, yo, I'm looking for that dude when he walk in the room. I want the man that when he walk in the room, he's that man. And as I said, I'm pretty sure most women, that's what it is for them, right? Is that the issue? No, not really. Not on his face. The issue is Torre needing Ebony to say that, right? He couldn't get the hint when she kept on talking around it over and over again, right? Right? And they go say, which one of them ninjas broke Torre's heart? Hysterical. Torre is married to a non-black woman. Or at least the picture I saw of him and her, she looks non-black, right? Huh. Anubis says, wait. I'm 6'5" and changed with a 2-pack. I'm not a super Tyrone. You're not a super Tyrone, right? You're not a super Tyrone yet, Anubis. Nope, not yet. Anubis making good money. He's 6'5". You still not a super Tyrone. Where's the multiple billion-dollar industries? You're not there yet. Try again. Oh man, insane. Absolutely. And then you got average ass, regular ass women co-signing Ebony K. Williams. Insane. Y'all give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. And we're back. Okay, so yeah, so we know who Ebony is. We know who Ebony is. We know who Torre is, but once again, just a confirmation, just a reminder, right? Now you understand why she refers to her first marriage as a starter marriage. She refers to her first marriage once again as a starter marriage. Oh yeah, he's a great guy, but oh, the black community, boy. Once women like this start talking, y'all be, oh, what am I gonna say? Wow. And Big Kev says, and thank you for the super chat. Most pro blacks coddle toxic femininity. Absolutely. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Absolutely. And Trell says she's the epitome of a social climber. The epitome. Anubis said we all have six packs, just some have more insulation than others. Hysterical. Right? That's crazy. To watch Tori just flip, hop, jump, skip, tie themselves into tie himself to into pretzels, into a pretzel. God damn it, Susie, could you get it out, please? Thank you. There we go. So if this is what black male representation is supposed to look like, right? FD and Torre attempting to reframe these things. Um, um, what's his face from the sports show? Stephen A. Smith. How Mr. Zio about to forget? Goddamn Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith trying to reframe things from Malika Andrews. Oh, freaking toxic ass. Everybody see who, even white dudes. I was reading them some of them comments. Even the white dudes are like, She don't be saying stuff like that about the white athletes. Even the white dudes are peeping game. But let Stephen A. Smith call it, we're idiots over here. I get it. Stephen A. Smith's situation, how his money is tied. Of course, he's supposed to um, defend Malika Andrews, right? In her toxic ass ways, even though she went on his show and tried to lecture him. You gotta love it. Women just get to talk absolutely, positively reckless. Who remember the white woman from what she was on? Was it New York Times or was it Washington Post or Washington Journal? And she flamed one of her coworkers on a message board or something like that. On, was it Twitter? I think it was Twitter, maybe. And then even her other white female coworkers that tried to reel her back, she flamed them too. Right there, I want to say it was on Twitter. Imagine a man doing that. Imagine a black man doing that. You just go in on your coworkers right then and there on Twitter. But Malika Andrews could do that. The white woman I'm referring to could do that. Right? Ebony called y'all mediocre. She called y'all mediocre. It's interesting how we will not allow black men to get away with any type of elitism. We'll let black men do the show off you wealth thing, especially if they're coming at it from a hip hop bent, a more urban bent. But that elitist, I'm better than all and looking down on everyone, I wish a black man would in public. But Ebony can. Huh? You imagine a black man calling the majority of black women mediocre? You imagine? Huh? You flip Ebony K. Williams for a black man, and a black man is saying, yeah, well, the reason why black women are voting Democrat and not Republican is because they're jealous of the 20% of black men that might be business owners and might be entrepreneurs and might, want their taxes to be low and yeah. So black women are just jealous. The 90% of black women that are going to probably vote Democrat are just jealous. You imagine? Huh. You imagine a black man doing the Tiffany cross and saying black women, I see, you Beyonce quoting, Sierra, prayer ass black women, why don't you get in line with behind black men? You imagine? Yeah, I ain't forget about Tommy Lauren. True. Exactly. White girl says something reckless. She got real back. What she apologized. Excuse me. She apologized. What, within 2 days? 1 or 2 days? She went in on men, white men. Let's call it thing a thing. All white women and women in general, but white women specifically, love doing the "all my friends are amazing" thing. All of their friends are kick ass. All of their homegirls are kick ass. All of their girlfriends are kick ass. So Tommy Lauren did the whole "me and my girlfriends are all kick ass and all these men are beneath us" type thing. And within what, 2 days? And thank you, Dr. Dunbar. Exactly. And Dr. Dunbar says it's awesome. Every time Ebony talks now, Z, she's the avatar for women here in DC. I bet. I bet. I bet. That's headquarters. I bet. And Dr. Dunbar, how single are those women in DC? Oops. Yanni, I know you're in Houston. I want to be a kept woman of leisure. Yeah. Uh huh. So do your sister in DC and Washington DC. How's it working for them? Oops. Everybody think they're gonna get them a Russell Wilson. Dr. Dunbar, right? Ebony K. Williams told you she ain't doing no bus driver. Fine, right? She said if she has to be with a woman on her level or lower, she might. Excuse me, Mr. Z already gave up the ghost. She said if she has to be with a man on her level or lower, she might as well be with the person that she was hosting with at that day, and it was a woman. So in other words, if she got to be with a dude that ain't above her, then she might as well be with a woman. Is what Ebony said. Mr. Z told y'all already. Remember the clip that Compassionate has on his channel with the woman who pretty much said, "I might as well date other single moms." Once again, also Princella. Mrs. Z told you already what this eventually leads to. Okay, so Ebony did that. Then she did the interview with Lauren, right? Not Tommy Lauren, but Lauren, a woman. I guess she works for for Charlemagne or one of them or whatever the hell. And she essentially tried to tell her, "Hey, if you keep on thinking like me, you will be me." Huh? Then she told us she has what, 3 vials of sperm or something like that, black male sperm. Yeah. And women like her and other women like her are not waiting for essentially black men to catch up, even though she has black men's catch up in 3 vials. Oops. Right? Oh, it's 2 vials. My apologies. 2 vials. Right? Huh. And now on this interview with Torre, she just and by the way, for the most part, I'm not saying that she is the most honest person. Ebony has given us probably one of the most genuine takes we're going to get out of this type of conversation between black men and black women. Coming from black women, this is about as genuine as we're going to get. Right? She's telling you she's a shark. She's telling you she need a boss dude that when he walk in the room, he's that dude in the room. She's telling you she want to do the power couple thing. She's telling you she is going to be annoying. She's telling you that you are a resource provider and it is about the lifestyle. And we watch Torre matrix dodge all of that. Now, if we consider once again that they possibly have a working relationship because they spoke like they know each other, right? So fine. Did we expect him to hit her upside the head with the hammer on that interview? Probably not. Did he offer her any real critique about her behavior and maybe how this might be off-putting to men, even ballerific men? Absolutely not. Would he do that in private? Probably not. Right? And Lithium says 1981 to 1985, black women, the girlfriends generation. Are you saying girlfriends like the television show that Tracy Ellis Ross used to be on? Right? They have watched way too much television. Way too much television. And I'm saying that as a response to GC who says, yeah, that's what wealthy men want. Their wives to be sharks, to be a shark, better yet. That's funny, LaShawn. Touche, sir. Touche. And LaShawn says, aren't all men ballerific? Technically, yes. That's a good one. I got you. That was funny. That was funny. That was good. That was good. That was good. Oh man, that was funny. That LaShawn, that was fun. That was funny. That was funny. Right. That's a Mr. Z type of joke. I like that. I like that. And Dr. Dunbar says she can IVF herself all the way to the poorhouse. Look, man, like it's so super clear that she's insufferable. She's even pretty much said it. She has pretty much even said that herself. And what are heterosexual black men supposed to do about that? And you watch Torre do, man. And I understand it. No, no. Actually, you don't. Actually, you don't. Or you are being extremely obtuse. Right? Y'all are look, man. What having that conversation with FD, and then shout out to Leon once again, man. That link that you sent, man, and that BGS played exactly. So when FD speaks to T Noir and he gets it right, and both him and T Noir, and now Ebony, and Torre are all speaking about hypergamy, and the wall that exceedingly successful women are running into that quite frankly they've over-indexed on their careers, they've over-indexed on the money, and the problem is the men that you want don't want you. The ballerific men, not enough of them want shark ass Ebony K. Williams. Do some of them want shark ass Ebony K. Williams? Maybe. But unfortunately, for you, Ebony, you're too young, and Bill Clinton's too white. God damn, Z. Who y'all thought Hillary Clinton was? You better ask somebody. You're too young, and Bill Clinton's too white. Huh? Sorry. Huh? Unfortunately for you, um, John Kerry and and Mitch McConnell's into Asian women, unfortunately for you, and he's too old. And I don't really know if you want to be with turkey neck ass Mitch McConnell. And he's like one, wrong step away from being in the grave right now anyway. So there's that. Simp ain't looking for a shark, and Trump is not into black women. Unfortunately for you, you can see the type of women he married. How long did that marriage last between him and Marla Mabels? You better ask somebody. Y'all been watching way too much television. You think there's an abundance of Bill Clintons running around here? Huh? Oh yeah, AB, I call him turtle face and turkey neck. Ebony didn't watch way too. I don't know where the hell these women came from, bro. Ebony's only a couple of years older than Z. Where the hell did y'all come from? And it's crazy because, like Anton said, here comes the pitch, and she really did pitch herself. And I'm gonna link Anton's breakdown of this in the description for those of you that want to catch it. And and her pitch was, oh my god, bro, she need a PR person. Ooh. Wait, so you saying you are shark and you kind of an asshole and you're insufferable, but it's only certain type of man that can deal with that. Look, man, you're not a Ferrari, bro. See, car. Let me tell y'all something. As an automobile enthusiast, that's a car selling itself to you. Hey, look, that's the Z. Hey, look, man, I'm temperamental. I might break down in the middle of the road with you, but I'm super good looking. You're always gonna get compliments. It's gonna mainly be from dudes and older dudes, right? You're gonna love the attention. But on the other side of the attention and the twin turbos is the occasional smoke out of nowhere, leak out of nowhere, hesitation, overheating during the summertime, the occasional breakdown, the occasional embarrassment. I'm sorry, you are not an antique or you're not a car. You're not a classic car, Ebony. Stop it. You become a classic though. Oops. Exactly. Heavy maintenance involved. Ebony saying heavy maintenance involved, but I'm going to be insufferable. What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, right. Heavy maintenance involved, but I'm going to be insufferable. I'm going to be insufferable. I'm going to be annoying, and it's going to be heavy maintenance. And Ebony, what does the man get for that? You're not particularly young, so he doesn't get your youth. You're not particularly, known to be particularly jovial or any of that. Or no, man, no, nope, nope. But shout out, she did say her age range is from 45 to 55, right? So all you brothers, 45 to 55, Dr. Dunbar, where you at? Green Gorilla, right? Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, right? 45 to 55, Raj, where you at? Right? All you, especially all you single brothers, 45 to 55, right? Wow. So now we know her age range is 45 to 55. Which one of y'all want to take on Ebony? So she's not even trying to catch her a young brother who is looking at her like a MILF. No, she so let me get this right. Ebony is telling us she wants a seasoned man who has the experiences and he has the wealth and he's well traveled and he's intelligent and he's hardworking and he's going to take on Ebony K. Williams. You imagine? At 45 to 55 years old and be willing to raise a kid that might be biologically his from her? Probably not, unless they do the take his sperm and then inseminate the egg that she has frozen or whatever. However the hell this is supposed to work, right? Because yes, she has two vials of sperm, but she also has her eggs frozen. So for those of you that don't know that, so I guess I don't whatever you know robo head head ass kid you're gonna have. Um, so he could be possibly raising a child starting at the age of 48, 50, 52, 55. So he could be raising a child that's his biologically, but obviously wasn't conceived the natural way. Or he could be raising somebody else's literal seed that's his kid, maybe? Wait, what? At 47 years old, 49 years old, 52 years old, 55 years old. And remember, you're raising this child with Ebony K. Williams. You're raising this child with Ebony K. Williams. Ebony K. Williams is the mother of maybe your biological child, maybe not. Wow. Trell, you too then. You on the list, Trell? Trell said 49 in a week. Trell, go ahead and hit Ebony up. Right? All you brothers over 45. Oh, and Torre just nodded and agreed with her. And where's the pushback? Y'all think Torre would have just let's see, 50 talk like that? Cameron talk like that? Jim Jones? Who do you think he would have let speak like that? Right? Who? But Ebony literally tells you she is a shark. She is pretty much a monster. And I don't mean that in the I don't mean monster in the way of terrorizing people, kind of, sort of, not really, kind of. I mean monster as in one of these essentially corporate shark monsters. The white corporate sharks, just paint them black women and you get Ebony K. Williams. And as a matter of fact, she said it. Oh, she said it. Essentially, if you want to be comfortable and come home and chill out and watch movies or play video games and have, some food and head on the table, yeah, nope. Okay, so I was thinking correctly. I didn't recall if it was Torre that also did the interview with R. Kelly. I know Gail ripped R. Kelly apart too, but I was thinking Torre also, but I didn't remember. Thank you. Thank you, Dylan. Yeah, so it was Torre. Exactly. You didn't let R. Kelly get away with nothing, right? And I'm not saying that Torre needed to necessarily interrogate Ebony K. Williams, unlike what FD Signifier is saying. Like he thinks we want them to rip black women to shreds. Not necessarily, and quite frankly, y'all wouldn't really be good at it. Oops. To be honest. Ooh, this is a good one. Compassionate says the female Gordon Gecko of relationships. Exactly. Exactly. And where did that necessarily land her? I already said, did I say that like yesterday or the day before? Maybe the day before. I don't know if I streamed yesterday. The day before, I think I was speaking about Chrissy. Look, we already know there's studies on this. No one in this society likes cold, calculated ass women. Black women, that goes double for you. No one likes cold, calculated women, even other women. So if you think you're going to be the Gordon Gecko of relationships, well, how did that work for you? You talk about your first marriage like you literally say my starter marriage. What? Who says that? You called black men, by and large, black men, mediocre. You said mediocre, right? The look on your face of total disgust and sass when Iyanla said, would you date a bus driver? If he owns the bus. If he owns the bus. You admit that your bar is impossible when you were speaking to Laura and said, when you own a $1.7 million property or when you close, better yet, when you close on a $1.7 million property and you have the skybox in it, yawn. Huh. So I'm covering this once again to speak about the Torres of the world and why there's a black manosphere. And there is a black manosphere because of Torre, because of FD Signifier, because of Steve Harvey, because of Mark Lamont Hill, because of Themis and Thaw, because of Storm Monroe. That is why there's a black manosphere. Because of Dr. Umar Johnson, because of, Mr. Z, you're about to say Barack Obama, there is a black manosphere. That's why there is a black manosphere. I'm sorry. Uh, hysterical. I gotta read this one now. And Eric Denman says, Ebony is the Cersei Lannister of black women. Cold and calculated. How exactly did that end for her? What? So 3 dead children and 1 dead unborn child and a dead brother who she was, having extra relations with. How exactly did that end for Cersei, though? If y'all didn't see the end of Game of Thrones and you watch Game of Thrones, I mean, I'm sorry. Whoopsie. Right? Cersei had 3 because she raised monsters. Well, actually, the middle son wasn't a monster. The 2 other kids were actually pretty good. The oldest, though, goddamn. Right? But all 3 of them ended up, right, in the afterlife because of her. All 3 of them ended up in the afterlife because of her. One of them took their own life because of her. Right? Yeah, Tommy had a good heart. And what happened exactly to him? What happened? Right? And once again, Eric, thank you for the super chat. That was funny. Oh, that was funny. And true. Right? And Lithium says, thank you for the super chat. Lithium says, what made Zillennial women extra insufferable? This needs to be investigated. Mr. Z and my channel can't be the only theorists on this. Huh. Oh God, the internet BGS is about to come out. I think a lot of it has to do with environment. I think a lot of it obviously has to do with the position black women find themselves in post-slavery, post Jim Crow on paper, and them playing that role. I want to be very clear. Mr. Z is not giving black women excuses, right? Because they could have chose not to play, right? They enthusiastically adopted this role, and well, you get what you get. But I do think the environment plays a role in this, as evidenced by Ebony K. Williams, as evidenced by Yanni, as evidenced by Chrissy, right? Selkis Ray was covering earlier today um, a black woman, I guess a dark skinned black woman, who, yeah, it was a dark skinned black woman, who said something like, if you want to have pretty children, do not procreate with dark skinned black men. And there you go. Yeah, exactly, and this is true compassionate. That generation is firmly in the grip of neoliberalism of the '80s. They never stood a chance. We speak about that here. Green Gorilla has brought it up. BGS, obviously, Mr. Z. Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete, Amio Sid Frimpong, Green Gorilla. We speak about that here. Not just capitalism, a particular brand of capitalism, and what did it do to the minds of our youth who are now adults, who are now Mr. Z's age and Ebony K. Williams' age and Chrissy's age and Yanni's age. What did it do? But when we speak about it, we don't say, what did it do to the women? What did it do to black women? And then in turn, what this did those same girls who became women, how do they speak and act and feel and think about black men? Their natural counterparts. Yeah, Ishmael, I'll put the article in the chat. Right? Hmm. And Ebony K. Williams, to me, I mean, as a as a face, we know Ebony K. Williams isn't super or ultra famous, but she's famous enough. I think she perfectly and she talks a lot, right? I'm almost certain there's many black female celebrities that feel the same way, and we could see it by their lack of marriage, right? Or even for some of them that are married. But Ebony K. Williams, she talks a lot. So she is very clear what this is, and that is why Mr. Z is critiquing this, because she is very clear what she's on, and you watch as Torre tries to frame this in a way that isn't as offensive, not towards her, but towards the listening audience. He attempts to sanitize her words for her. Now that for her, and she's very clear. And you remember, you're speaking to an attorney or a lawyer. I think she might have. She didn't get disbarred, but I think she can't practice law right now because she let I guess there's an expiration date or whatever the hell, and she let it lapse or whatever the hell. Either way, right? There's a difference between lawyer and attorney, you guys. For those of you that don't know, I'm just saying. Right? FD Signifier is around the same age as Ebony K. Williams. And Lithium says Willie Pete is around the same age as Ebony K. Williams. So is FD Signifier. I think Ebony is what, 40? FD is 41. Right? Y'all gonna address this thing, man, because it is actually having real social ramifications. I'm not talking about this just because, oh, y'all, mediocre blue collar men and your hurt feelings. No, this is actually having real world consequences. Because your average woman is listening to Ebony acting like they're Ebony, right? For those of you that when I posted the receipt that Paris posted, the $2,000 dinner receipt, I think a couple of y'all went through the comments for the actual original post that Paris Milan posted, and y'all saw the comments of a couple of black women, black young girls or young adults saying, "Oh, I need this in my life. What do I have to do, Paris, to have this in my life?" Well, if that's the bar, well, you scratched off at least a good 90-95% of men in America. I didn't even just say black men who could comfortably afford a $2,000 dinner date. Charles Willie Pete is 39, not 40. Z. No, I was saying Ebony K. Williams is 40, and I wasn't sure, but yeah, Ebony K. Williams is 40, and FD Signifier is 41. Yeah, I didn't say anything about Sarge Willie Pete. I wasn't sure how old he was. Right? But y'all gonna continue to get this. You're gonna continue to get the Torres to cover and act like they don't see who Ebony K. Williams is, even though she tells you exactly who she is. And then they attempt to shame you because they reframe to themselves and for her what she's saying and what she means, and you know exactly what she means. Right? That is the question, Azriel. Azriel says, who the hell spends 2K on dinner? Hey, if you want to know what they holding out for, is it all? No. Is it increasing? Oh, definitely. I ain't even gonna say if it's most or not. I'm gonna leave that one. Right. And Eric Deadman says, I never understood why 2K dinner for two is a flex. Someone explained it to me. It's because that's the flex. The flex is, and I've said it to y'all before, like the flex is I'm living this life now provided to me by a man. It's the ultimate flex for women. Right? My husband is not just a husband, he's the husband. He's the husband that's paying for $2,000 dinners at exclusive, notable restaurants. Can you do this? Can your man? It's one of those your man could never. That's really what it is. Your man could never. Now, right? Now, the difference is people like to frame that like it's motivational. Look what I got, girl. You could do it too. But really, what it is your man could never. And we as human beings are social creatures. Right? And we do compete. The difference is women like to compete and pretend like they're actually motivating each other when they really sneak this in the crap out of each other. They're really ripping each other to shreds. And what Paris did there was, who got the big clit now? It was a super flex. It was a flex on Yanni. It was a flex on Chrissy. It was a flex on definitely Cynthia G. That's who she really was flexing on. It's a flex on Cynthia G, and it's a flex on even her own subscribers. Thank you, Indigo. Stud on them hoes. Exactly. Rubbing it in their faces. That's all. Pun intended. I'll add that. Right. It's a flex. Now, are most women going to hold out for a dude that can do that? No. But is that kind of lingering in the back of their mind that, well, if I play my cards right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep, I saw it. Yeah, I saw. I actually want to cover it. Right? And McDrama Bear says Chris Williamson recently did a video on how competition amongst women is ruthless, and that PhD lady dropped a whole lot of gems. She dropped a whole lot of gems. I might cover that maybe tomorrow, maybe. She dropped a whole lot of gems. Things that, especially for the see, and I'm gonna end out soon, but let me say this. Me and my lady, because I sent it to my lady, and we had a conversation about this yesterday. It's funny enough, and shout out to you, McDrama Bear. Exactly. I had this conversation with my lady the other day, well, yesterday, and she watched. She said she didn't watch like the last 20 minutes, so she pretty much watched the whole thing. And I told her I sent it to her because some of the personal stuff, but some of the conversations me and her have had about relatives on her side and kind of being left out and whatever. And I explained to her, babe, you look at the circle? Just look at the circle. There's a I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna expose my lady like that. But I'm like, there's a reason for that, right? So we had a conversation, and I explained to her like men just move different. There's about 30 seconds of lip talking or smack, like talking smack to each other on the basketball court. There's about 30 seconds of that. Even like I told her, like, babe, I play Forza and Gran Turismo. You nudge a person the wrong way, going around a corner, or they feel offended, they are going to knock you into another world that next corner. If they feel offended enough, they will sacrifice they have the fastest car on the track. They will sacrifice first place to knock you out. Right? And we just spoke about competition, and she admitted, like, yeah, that's subtle competition. But this is what I was gonna say. Let me hear it. I think that us as black men, particularly coming from single mother homes, we understand this a bit better than non-black men. And I'm specifically speaking about black men raised in the American context, maybe the British context also, right? But like I'm kind of speaking about black Western people, right? Black people that find themselves in the West currently. I think we're not women, but we definitely can pick up on some of those eye rolls and some of those that snarkiness, and we understand what it means, more importantly. And I think we're better at that than white men, right? Because we were around mom. We got drugged to the hair salon and the nail salon. We were around mom when she would make certain comments. We were around our sisters when they would make certain comments, and when they would notice things and ask us if we notice it. And so you pick up on these things, right? So yeah, the competition thing. And so I say I maybe tap into that when I translate what, and shout out to Kev C, what these ladies are really saying, right? So that's why I was able to translate what what's her name, Nicole, was saying about Travis Kelce, right? That's why I'm able to translate what Chrissy is really saying when you see her become extremely animated when she's watching the white woman and her white daughter in this, jumbo-sized dollhouse for the daughter. I understand that what she's really saying, and it's a total, and it's anger and resentment at white men and black men, obviously black men, for black women not being put on that pedestal that a very particular class of white women occupy, right? And let me hurry up and read this. And KW Don says, I am not too interested in spending 2K with my enemy for a lack of better term. Shaking my damn head. Yeah, but that's her husband, so yeah, and shout out to him. Once again, the African brother. Whoever you are, shout out to you. Shout out to you for spending 2K on a dinner date with Paris Milan. Man, hey, if y'all think they just like that on YouTube or on social media, y'all okay. I guess you know something we don't know. I guess, right? And shout out to you, KW Dawn. Thank you for the super chat. Look, y'all, I have to make an abrupt stop. We might pick this up a little bit later on tonight. And I might, let me see if I can listen to that again so I can have points. And we might review that Chris Williamson interview that I was speaking about with Mick Drama Bear. Possibly. What, right? Okay, y'all. Mr. Z's gonna pause right here. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Thank you for listening in. Torre, do better, bro. Do better. Jesus Christ. Ebony K. Williams told you who she is, and you kept on trying to reframe it and make her seem more of a sympathetic person. She is who she is. And clearly, most men have decided, yeah, no, the men in her class, better yet, the men in her class and above her are like, yeah, about that. Nope. So you can't even say it's these lonely loser men. The men that she literally has access to, that she works with, that she's around, are like, yeah, nope. It can't be regular men. We're not around Ebony K. Williams. The men that she want that are around her are like, yeah, about that. Nope. As evidenced by the fact that she has 2 vials of sperm and eggs on ice. I'm just saying. All right, everyone. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We will pause right here. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. And we will end right here. All right, everyone. Y'all have a great, great rest of y'all day.